Just as I stepped into the lounge, Stanley Chow embraced me, reeking of alcohol, before his buddies could even start their jeering. His eyes seemed tender and affectionate as he said, "Come on, this is my girlfriend, Mia. What do you think? Not bad compared to Annie, huh?" The warmth in my face instantly plummeted to freezing. Come on, call her sister-in-law. What's wrong with you guys? No one saying anything? Stanley was so drunk he couldn't even tell who he was hugging, let alone notice the colorful expressions on his friends' faces. The awkward silence was broken. Sister-in-law, don't mind him. Stanley's just drunk. There's no Mia. We were just playing LARP. He's just too into the role. Yeah. Stanley waved his hand dismissively. What are you talking about? A look of disgust crossed his usually handsome face as he said, honestly, I've been with Annie for so many years, I'm just tired of her. Marriage is just compensation for her. After all, she's a decent wife. But for dating, Mia is much better, young, beautiful. What man doesn't like young and beautiful? He blew a smoke ring and leaned back in his chair, turning his head to look me up and down with a smile. Just thinking about having to face Annie's face every day after we get married, what's the point of being pretty? When she gets old and wrinkled, it'll be disgusting to even look at her. See? The same dress looks so much better on a young girl. The dress I was wearing that day was a limited edition Stanley had given me when we got engaged. The passion in his eyes back then was still vivid in my mind. He had said, "Annie, you look so beautiful in this dress. I love you so much. Will you marry me when my company gets on track? Just wait for me." But at that moment, those words felt like a lump in my throat. I looked at the full glass of wine beside me and smiled self-deprecatingly. I really should thank you for not abandoning me all these years. Stanley, splattered with wine, sobered up for a moment. He grabbed my hand tightly, but I yanked it away violently. He struggled to squeeze my name out of his throat. My response was the deafening sound of the door slamming shut. I dazedly returned home. I grabbed a pair of scissors, shredded the white dress I was wearing, and tore up all our photos together. The scenic jigsaw puzzle in the living room depicting our first encounter under the cherry blossom tree, made up of a full 20,000 pieces, the result of countless days and nights of effort. Stanley's favorite rug, his usual clothes, his treasured models, all were tossed out the door. A dull thud sounded. A strange strawberry hair clip fell out of his white shirt, and the obvious lipstick stain on the collar was glaring and made my heart ache. My phone on the entryway table was ringing incessantly. In the middle of the night, Stanley dragged me out of my sleep. Holding the strawberry hair clip with a missing corner, he questioned me, "Annie G, what's your problem now? Do you know how important this hair clip is to someone else?" I shook off his hand, filled with anger from being woken up. You hide someone else's hair clip so carefully. What? Do you want me to praise you for doing the right thing? Take your broken luggage and get out of here right now. Stanley's face instantly froze, and an impatient expression crept onto his brow. With a bang, he slammed the door and left. I received a strange MMS on my phone, showing Stanley sitting at the head of a table, frowning and smoking. Stanley, why don't you apologize to sister-in-law? Apologize for what? Let her cool down for a few days. I'm usually too nice to her, and she takes it for granted. Like anyone owes her anything. Besides, she's been dying to marry me. She's probably figuring out how to apologize right now. It won't take a week, and she'll definitely beg me to forgive her. Haha, you're still the best, Stanley. You've got sister-in-law wrapped around your fing. Teach us a few tricks. The video ended there. I stared at the ceiling for a long time, then contacted a realtor. I wanted to throw away everything related to Stanley. Just as I walked out of the apartment door, someone called out to me. Annie! A strange girl looked me up and down, her eyes full of contempt, practically asking who I was. I glanced at her sideways and continued walking. The next second, my arm was pulled. Annie, leave Stanley. He doesn't love you. I scoffed and shook off her hand. He loves you? Then go be his mistress. The anger on Lily's face instantly disappeared, and she sat down on the ground with a thud. Ah, it hurts. She looked like she was about to cry, looking behind me. Stanley, don't blame her, I just didn't stand steady. Stanley pushed me away violently. Annie G, if you have any complaints, come at me. You're so old, why are you bullying a young girl? Is it necessary? Hearing those words, my heart couldn't help but throb. And the person who pushed me down was whispering softly to the so-called young girl in his arms. Honestly, the bitterest herbal medicine in my shop wasn't as bitter as this drama. Stanley frowned in distress. Lily snuggled close to Stanley, glancing at me provocatively. A cold smile curled my lips. Stanley Chow, we're done. As for the engagement, I'll talk to your parents. Before I could finish, Stanley interrupted me sharply. Annie G, don't go too far. Know when to stop. Too far? Know when to stop. I clenched my aching palm, watching their intertwined figures. Since when had the person who once shone like light, illuminating and saving me, changed? The person who vowed never to change was long gone. It's okay, Annie G. He just doesn't love you anymore. When I arrived at Stanley's house, his mother was as enthusiastic as ever. Stanley's company had been growing bigger and bigger in recent years, and he rarely came home. I was the one who came to see his mother for him. Even my own shop's business was put aside whenever possible. I heard from Stanley that you're getting married this year. Make it as big as possible. But Annie, Stanley is so busy, you need to keep your womanly whims in check. Hearing this, the words stuck in my throat came out directly. Aunt, Stanley is cheating. We're over. I'm calling off the engagement. Her face stiffened, and her pampered face twitched. Marriage is not a child's play, Annie. You can't control a man too tightly. He's just playing around outside. It's not real. I looked at the woman who once said she treated me like her own daughter, and couldn't believe these words were coming from her mouth. I closed my eyes and kept my voice even. Aunt, would you accept it if Uncle had a new lover? She reacted like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. Annie G, how can you talk like that? Your uncle and I are doing very well. If you want to call off the engagement, give back the money my son spent on you. All these years, not even a hint of pregnancy. Only my son has been loyal to you. See who else wants you without my son. I suppressed my emotions and picked up my bag. That's none of your concern. Tell Stanley to come to me for the money. I'd like to see what money I've spent of his all these years. As far as Stanley was concerned, my conscience was clear. Not long after I came out, I received a call from Stanley. Annie G, you've gotten bold, causing trouble at my mother's house. My mother has a headache because you upset her. Do you have any conscience? You're the kind of person who deserves to have no parents. You want to call off the engagement, right? Don't regret it. His roar pierced my eardrums, and I blacklisted his number expressionlessly. I immediately contacted my intern. Lily, first, don't renew the tea supply contract with Nani Group. Check the payments for these years and send them to my email. Second, follow up on the cooperation with Sungxiang Group. Lily's voice was excited. Annie, really? After confirming with my assistant again and again, I looked at the wound in my palm and drove to the hospital. My previous collaborations with Stanley, although signed with agreements, never had any payments made. In the early years, Stanley said the company was in financial difficulties, and he would compensate me double later. But the company was back on track 2 years ago, and he had forgotten about it. I still clearly remembered the hand that reached out to me on the rooftop when I was 18, like a warm light fading away my dampness. The year my parents died in a car accident, the tea-picking workers rioted, and the tea merchants who collected tea came to me to demand goods. During those darkest days, Stanley stayed by my side. But time flies, and lovers change easily. I just considered what I owed him to be paid off. Jeannie, cry out if it hurts, treat it promptly if you're injured, it'll be fine. I looked blankly at the tissues in front of me. The doctor in the white coat sewing up my hand sighed and gently wiped my face. I was stunned for a moment. Okay, don't get the wound wet. Come back in a few days to remove the stitches. A total of 8 stitches were sewn into my palm, with 2 small pebbles next to it. I stood up and thanked him. Just then, the realtor contacted me, saying that someone was living in the house and didn't agree to sell it. I remembered that I had forgotten to change the password. I hadn't even pushed open the half-open door when I heard a familiar voice inside. Stanley, if the hair clip is broken, it's broken. Sister's house is so nice. Is she really willing to give it to me? Mia, that's the hair clip your mother left you. It's more precious than anything or anyone. Consider this house as compensation for you. I pushed the door open forcefully, dialing 911 on my phone. Hello, 911? Someone is trespassing and attempting theft. Annie G, what do you mean? Is a house really that important? Stanley tried to snatch my phone. Annie, but I dodged it. I looked at him coldly. This is the house my parents left me. It has nothing to do with you. You have no right to dispose of it. Stanley Chow, I don't ask you to have any feelings for me, but don't be so cheap. Get out of here with your person. Stanley opened his mouth, stunned for a moment. Annie, I didn't know. Sister, don't blame Stanley. I just wanted a home so badly. Shut up. Lily said aggrievedly. Stanley, anyway, our Riverside penthouse is good enough. Let's leave this small house to sister. Riverside penthouse. Annie, we'll buy your favorite Riverside penthouse as our wedding room when we get married. These words flashed in my mind. Meeting Stanley's eyes, he coughed lightly as if to cover up. Mia, go out first. After the door was considerately closed, Annie, things aren't what you think. Mia is just an intern at the company. She was bullied when discussing business. She's just a young girl who just graduated. I helped her, just like I helped you in the beginning. I don't know what you're doing lately, but these things can't shake our relationship. I felt like I heard a joke. Stanley Chow, you helped someone to bed, helped someone buy your and her wedding room? Do you think I'm stupid? I don't want to hear it. We've already broken up. You can help whoever you want, buy a wedding room with whoever you want. I pointed to the door. Get out! Annie G, who spoiled you with your bad temper? You're unreasonable. The house was sold quickly. I quickly moved into the house I had been looking at for a long time. My cooperation with Xiangxiang was also put on the agenda. Next Monday was the new product launch. Stanley hadn't discovered that the contract had expired. He was playing love games with his girlfriend every day. That strange phone number was sharing daily life with me every day. The latest post on social media, captioned, boyfriend POV insisted on by the young girl. Lily was holding Nani's most popular. Our drink, sitting on the balcony of the penthouse, smiling brightly. Below were comments from Stanley's buddies, little sister-in-law, congratulations. Waiting to drink wedding wine. Little sister-in-law, you and my brother are a perfect match. This number had been sending me his and her recent updates from the celebration party onwards. I asked familiar people, but no one knew who this person was. At first, I thought it was Lily, but later, I found out it wasn't. Because Lily kept adding me, but I ignored her. The new product launch came quickly, and Stanley brought Lily dressed to the nines. I was with Mr. Song from Xiangxiang. Mr. Song said with disgust in my ear, TSK, a shit man and his trash accessory, an eyesore. I didn't expect them to come. Do you want to beat someone? Mr. Song was eager to try, but I shook my head. There's no need. As soon as I finished speaking, Stanley looked over. He suppressed his anger. Mr. Song, Annie G, let's talk. Before Mr. Song could speak, I agreed. As soon as we walked outside, Stanley grabbed my shoulder. He gritted his teeth. Annie G, why did you stop the cooperation? You abandoned our years of relationship for that old man Song Chi. I knew it, you cheated first, but acted like a victim. This is the reason you forced me to break up. You're really disgusting. I slapped him in the face. Don't think you're a maggot and the whole world is a cesspool. You were the one who betrayed me first. A look of helplessness flashed across Stanley's face. Suddenly, he hugged me tightly. Annie, Let's not make trouble anymore, okay? I give up. I felt nauseous. Let me go, you're dirty. I couldn't break free. The next second, I was pulled into a fragrant embrace. I looked up and saw a delicate jawline. A somewhat familiar cold voice spoke with mockery. I didn't expect the president of Nani Group to be a dirty old man. Didn't you hear her tell you to let go? Stanley staggered back a few steps, his face unsightly, his EYes full of violence. Do you know who I am and you're not getting lost? He said to me, Annie G, this is the last time I'm giving you a chance. No need. What a big face. Stanley's phone rang, and his face softened instantly. A tearful voice came from the other end of the phone. Stanley, my stomach hurts so much. Stanley looked nervous and didn't even look at me, replying softly, I'll be right back. A slight tisk sound came from overhead, with a disgusted tone. I frowned, and the other party released my wrist. Jeannie, don't you recognize me? I paused and looked back at the man who was a head taller than me. The beauty mark at the corner of his eye became more vibrant with a smile. So the face under the mask was so handsome. The doctor who stitched me up at the hospital last time. Dr. Song, what are you doing here? Just passing by. Your taste in men is pretty bad. Song Ren's eyes were playful. I walked up to him step by step, staring at him. He looked flustered. I smiled. Dr. Song, are you hot? Song Ren's earlobes turned even redder, but his eyes stared straight at me. His long eyelashes trembled slightly, pretending to be calm. Remember to come to the hospital tomorrow to remove the stitches. Watching his fleeing figure, I clicked my tongue softly. After the successful launch of Xiangxiang's new product, it was late when I finished processing the orders in the shop. My palm was a little itchy. Just as I left the shop, Stanley blocked my way. I was impatient. Why was this person haunting me? Annie, how long are you going to be angry? Mia is just my sister from now on. Before I could even speak, Lily jumped out from the side, tears streaming down her face. Ann, even you don't want me okay. From now on, you and I have nothing to do with each other. After speaking, she ran away without looking back. Stanley rubbed his hair irritably, suppressing his anger. Annie, are you satisfied now? The company needs tea urgently for the new product. Remember to have someone send it over tomorrow. I still have work to do, so I'll leave first. Stanley's back was full of constantly dialing phone calls, his steps quick. Anyone who didn't know would think I was some kind of monster. People really laugh when they're speechless. Crazy man, crazy woman, what kind of sentimental drama are you acting out for me? The next day, at the hospital, my palm had just been stitched up, the wound was pink. Recovering well. Song Ren was in a good mood today, his tone turning 80 corners. Jeannie, to thank me, treating me to a meal isn't too much, right? I was full of question marks. Huh? No way. You're not willing to treat me to a meal. TSK, stingy. Dr. Song, are you always so childish? Eating is no problem, but it has to be tomorrow. Song Ren climbed up the pole. You should have said so earlier. Here, add me on WeChat. I looked at him with a smile that wasn't a smile. I'm just afraid you'll try to wriggle out of it. After adding WeChat, Song Ren came out with me all the way. Again and again, I ran into Stanley and Lily. Lily smiled happily, Stanley carefully helping her, his eyes full of affection. Oh, Annie, why are you also at the hospital? Don't blame Stanley, he's just worried about me coming to the hospital alone. After all, I'm not as strong as you, sister. The tea skills are very good. Someone muttered next to me. Lily's face stiffened when she heard this. Stanley was flustered for a moment. Song Ren crossed his arms and clicked his tongue. This is the legendary love triangle. Stanley's face turned ugly when he saw Song Ren speaking. He questioned me. It's you again. What's your relationship? Song Ren said softly, I can be your shield. I looked at Song Ren's upturned eyes, his eyes full of seriousness. I didn't care at all, I just wanted to leave. There's a psycho let's go. I was afraid of getting sick, so I walked away quickly. Stanley was about to chase after me, but Lily said her stomach hurt, so he started to care for her. I took a deep breath of the fresh air outside. Song Ren couldn't help but wave goodbye. Don't forget to have dinner tomorrow. Before I could even eat dinner, I received a phone barrage from Stanley's mother. Take it! From now on, you and my son have nothing to do with each other. You think you can make my son change his mind by cutting off his supply? It's really funny. Little did you know, there are people more capable than you. Stanley's mother stuffed the plastic bag into my hand unhappily. Inside was the engagement horoscope from the beginning. After confirming that it was correct, I didn't want to say more and turned to leave. A hen that can't lay eggs, thank you for not marrying my son. I laughed coldly and turned back. Speaking of this, I should have thrown the marriage checkup report that I did after the engagement on their faces. Fortunately, Stanley didn't have time, and I was the one who picked up the report. To protect Stanley's self-esteem, that report is still in the safe in my new home. Aunt Annie didn't mean it. Don't say that about her. Lily stood in the doorway watching the show, her expression arrogant. Her hand caressed her flat lower abdomen, her face full of triumph. My gaze stopped on her lower abdomen. Mia, you're really a kind and good girl. My son just felt sorry for her and played with her, don't take it to heart. Go sit down and don't tire my grandson. Oh, Aunt, I'm not that delicate. Annie, remember to come to Stanley and my wedding next month. Looking at the scene of her and his mother being filial, I found it funny. Heh, I'll definitely send a big gift then. I hope you can still be a family at that time. That night, Stanley's brother posted a happy announcement on social media. Captioned, "Congratulations to the brother for finding a new partner, stepping into a new role in life next month, completing 2 major life events at once." When I saw the person in the photo clearly, I was shaking with anger. Stanley's new partner was Leo Rivers, who came to demand goods and caused the biggest trouble the second year my parents died. At that time, Leo Rivers saw that I was young and had ulterior motives, wanting to sell me directly to the underground market. Little girl, if you don't have the goods, use yourself as collateral. At that time, Stanley saved me at all costs. If the police hadn't arrived in time, Stanley and I would have died in that abandoned warehouse long ago. He's out of jail and doing the tea business. Stanley, why? Why do you have to challenge my bottom line again and again? Soon, Stanley also sent a message on WeChat. This time, he didn't block me for once. Captioned, Nani's new product launch on the 1st of next month, this will be a further breakthrough for Nani drinks. At the same time, Mr. Song from Xiangxiang Group sent a screenshot of sales information. A very impressive number. Song Chi, TSK, we should have cooperated earlier. Stanley can't bring out your tea. Me, Mr. Song, it's not too late now. Song Ren happened to send a message. I'll be waiting for you at the restaurant at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Just a reminder, in case you forget. By the way, my friend Samia gave birth, do you want to raise one? Picture, isn't it super cute? I clicked on the picture, and a soft and cute puppy came into view. The stuffiness from just now was swept away. Why don't you reply to me? You wouldn't want to wriggle out of it. You don't usually talk so much. The OK in the dialog box hadn't been sent yet. A voice call came in, and I accidentally hung up. Song Ren sat across from me, propping his head up. His formal attire was out of place in the hot pot restaurant. The unnaturalness on his face disappeared, like a CEO discussing a big project. The first sentence was, "Do you want to raise a puppy? You have to raise it even if you don't want to, it's settled." I was amused by the OS in my heart. I read my mouth and smiled. Raise it. Or, change the restaurant? Song Ren smirked. No need, haven't you eaten this hot pot for a long time? Coincidentally, I haven't eaten it for a long time either. Seeing that he didn't have a forced expression, I let the waiter serve the food. Song Ren's fair face was reddened by the spicy hot pot. He kept drinking water. Dr. Song, you can actually eat clear soup. I looked at the clear soup that no one had touched, feeling a little helpless. Song Ren waved his hand, his forehead covered in fine beads of sweat. I realized something was wrong. Does your stomach hurt? Song Ren nodded. I helped him sit down under the tree, and after feeding him the medicine, I breathed a sigh of relief when I saw that his face was better. I told you, don't eat spicy food if you can't eat it. What's the point of showing off? You don't even know how to take care of your own body. The more I spoke, the angrier I became. I pulled his arm. Let's go to the hospital. Song Ren smiled palely. I'm not that delicate. It's just that I haven't eaten it for a long time, and I wanted to taste it. It's just that you chose it too well, and I couldn't help but eat it. I don't even have the strength now. Seeing him looking weak and easily pushed down, I sat down next to him very boldly. I'll lend you my shoulder. Anyway, I won't suffer. A weight came on my shoulder. This is the first time I've seen you so angry. I'll treat you next time to relieve your anger. As soon as Song Ren said that, I felt uncomfortable all over. Yeah, why am I angry? The air became awkward for a while. I coughed lightly and said unhappily, I'm angry that I didn't eat enough. After speaking, I froze. Damn it, I have such a big mouth. Vibrations came from my shoulder, Song Ren said with a smile. Next time, as much as you want. There was no next time, we were both very busy. In the blink of an eye, it was Stanley's wedding, and the highly anticipated Nani new PR. Adopt launch. Lily was afraid that I wouldn't come. She contacted me with several different numbers. On such a special day, even if she didn't contact me, I would bring my big gift and arrive as scheduled. Just as the two were expressing their feelings on stage, and the people below were praising them as a perfect match, the little sister next to me told the truth. Where is it a perfect match? The woman is happy about marrying into a wealthy family because she's pregnant, but her stomach doesn't even have as much meat as mine, and she keeps touching it, afraid that others won't know she's pregnant. The man keeps looking over here, his eyes are shifty, and it's obvious that he hasn't given up. Disgusting. This description is accurate. The host on the stage was holding a microphone. Next, please watch the sweet moments of the bride and groom. The high-definition marriage checkup report of the groom was shown on the big screen behind him. Aw, I saw it wrong, Stanley Chow, infertile. Congratulations on being a dad, a green prairie on his head. Stanley subconsciously looked at me, and I raised my glass to him. He turned his head and looked at Lily, who had a panicked expression. He ordered people to turn off the screen. Stanley was someone who had experienced big storms after all, and he quickly calmed down. Everyone, that was just a small episode. This physical examination report still needs to be verified. The main focus today is Nani's launch. It looks like President Zhou has been set up. It's just jealousy that President Zhou is young and promising. Please welcome the partner, Mr. Leo Rivers. The two signed a cooperation agreement in front of the media at the same time. A reporter raised a microphone and asked, Mr. Rivers, are you from Rivertown? Leo Rivers looked surprised. That's right. I heard that Mr. Rivers started out as a loan shark and spent a few years in jail. President Zhou, does Nani know about this? As soon as these words came everyone was in an uproar. Leo Rivers slammed the table and stood up. What the hell are you talking about? Which reporter are you? Stanley's face was unsightly, and he pulled Leo Rivers, but was pushed away. Mr. Rivers, are you going to get physical? The reporter continued to ask, or is it true, otherwise, Mr. Rivers, you wouldn't have such a big reaction. Stanley cursed inwardly. This reporter, everything must be based on evidence. President Zhou, since I dare to ask, then I have evidence. Then, photos of Leo Rivers being arrested and photos of him being released from prison were played on the big screen. Leo Rivers's veins were bulging, his eyes fierce. Stanley Chow, you set me up. This whole thing is for this moment. Leo Rivers grabbed Stanley's collar violently. He was punched in the face again and again. No one dared to pull them apart. Mia shrieked, Dad, don't hit Stanley. It's all Annie's fault, that bitch. Mia pointed at me. Leo Rivers stopped, panting, and strode towards me. Don't touch her. Stanley Chow grabbed Leo Rivers' leg, only to be kicked away. Leo Rivers tilted his head, a sinister smile spreading across his face. So, it's you. Mr. Rivers, there are cameras everywhere. If you cause trouble, think about going back inside for a few more years. The reporter looked at me with concern. I shook my head subtly. While everyone else backed away, I stood my ground, looking at him expressionlessly. My hands were white from clenching. Leo Rivers had lost his mind after being exposed. But there was no way I would come here alone without a plan. 20-year-old Annie might have been scared, but 28-year-old Annie had learned to protect herself. Before Leo Rivers could even touch my head, the police behind him pinned him to the ground. Leo Rivers, we've discovered that you're connected to a homicide case. Please cooperate with our investigation. Hearing this, a ferocious look crossed Leo Rivers' face. It's you! I'll haunt you even in death. Who cares? I had already asked someone to investigate him when I found out Leo Rivers was working with Stanley Chow. And what I found was shocking. Leo Rivers had just gotten out of prison and was already back to his old ways. During a debt collection, he got into a fight and killed someone. To evade responsibility, he set fire to the body to destroy the evidence. Maybe even fate couldn't stand it anymore, because an eyewitness had recorded everything but was too afraid of Leo Rivers to say anything until my people found him. I also owe thanks to Stanley Chow for booking a fancy hotel with good soundproofing, otherwise, it would have alerted the snake in the grass. Sister, are you okay? A young girl pulled my hand, her face filled with concern. When Leo Rivers came over, she tried to pull me away, but her parents forcefully pulled her back. I touched her head. I'm fine, and thank you. Sister, your boyfriend seems to be looking for you. I'll go now. Boyfriend? I turned around and saw Song Ren's panicked face. The next moment, he pulled me into his arms. His faint, clean scent made me relax completely. Don't ever do anything so dangerous alone again. Do you know how worried I was that something would happen to you? I pushed him away slightly. Dr. Song, how did you know I was here? Song Ren stiffened, looking awkward. I heard your ex-boyfriend was getting married, so keep making things up. I said flatly. Song Ren and I had no mutual friends. How would he know? Is 0823 your phone number? A month ago, that number had already been disconnected. At the party where I discovered Stanley Chow had a new lover, it was this number that sent me a message, wear a white dress and come to lounge 602 at Tranquility Garden. There's a surprise waiting for you, Stanley Chow had been wanting to change his number around that time. I thought it was him. When I arrived, I found that it was indeed a very big surprise. Since then, 0823 had been sending me messages from time to time with Stanley Chow's nasty comments and screenshots of some of Stanley Chow's hidden social media posts. Ever since I happened to run into Song Ren at the Purple Rhyme fragrance launch event, and then bumped into him a few more times, plus today, I couldn't help but suspect. Song Ren looked at me, confused. That's not my phone number, Annie. Who else is harassing you? I was also confused. Who was it? Song Ren pulled me into his car. So, how did you know? Song Ren stammered for a long time, unable to give a straight answer. I pretended to get out of the car. I'll tell you. Song Chi is my blood-related brother. He told me you were here today. I was afraid you'd be upset, so I rushed over as soon as I finished work. I'm glad you're okay. That's right, Song Chi. I had seen him at the wedding entrance. I've never heard Mr. Song mention he has a brother. I was curious. What was so embarrassing about it? My brother and I never got along since we were kids. There's a big age gap. When I was little, I forced my brother to swear a vow not to acknowledge each other. You two are pretty childish. Suddenly, a whimper came from the back seat. A fluffy Samoyed tilted its head obediently, wagging its tail happily. What a cute dog! I can't wait to smother you with kisses. I couldn't wait to pet the dog. Song Ren coughed a few times beside me. I looked at his red ears. Are you hot? Cough. A little. I just happened to be coming over today, so I brought the dog along. His cheeks were flushed. I admired him for a moment, humming happily with the dog in my arms. After getting out of the car, Song Ren carried 2 large shopping bags from the back seat. What's this? You said you wanted to treat me to a meal last time, but we never had time. I thought since I was here, I'd cook for you. My lips curled up. Let's go. After eating our fill, I started to get sleepy. Song Ren cleared the table and took out the trash. The door closed. Ed softly, and I opened my eyes. I let out a soft sigh. After the Stanley Chow wedding incident, South Intent had a lot of negative publicity. In just a few hours, it was trending. Leo Rivers was not a teen merchant at all. He was a front that Mia used to deceive Stanley Chow. Now, Stanley Chow was caught off guard by this incident. Once he recovered, Mia's good days would be over. Only a day had passed, but I didn't expect my name to trend with South Intent. Trending topic: South Intent President Stanley Chow and Annie are secretly together. The PR department focused on my love-hate relationship with Stanley Chow. The gist was that Stanley Chow and I had a deep misunderstanding. He was blinded by Mia. I watched my former lover sink deeper and deeper and took the initiative to investigate Leo Rivers' crimes, just to let Stanley Chow see the person beside him. The funniest thing was that the netizens not only believed it but also started shipping the CP. Netizens commented, *, has no one noticed that South Intent is made up of 2 people's names? He founded the company with their names for her. What is this if not love? Sister, your actions still show love for him, *. There were also some sober netizens, *. What kind of misunderstanding can make a man marry another woman? I don't understand, *. Stanley Chow took advantage of this trend and quickly released a statement, *. You said that we would get married after the puzzle was finished. I have unintentionally hurt you, but please let me spend my life making it up to you, *. The puzzle that I broke had some visible signs of repair. This operation almost made me throw up the food I had just eaten. I was glad I didn't have any social media accounts, otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to eat for days. As soon as I put down my phone, a video call from Song Ren popped up. I answered. He had just finished showering. His face was a little red, his hair was still dripping, and his bathrobe was wide open. My eyes uncontrollably low. Okay, down. Annie, have you named the dog yet? Song Ren's voice was different from usual. Maybe it was because he had just taken a shower, but it was husky and unexpectedly sexy. Huh? He called just to talk about this? I took a sip of water. I did, it's called Rouge. Song Ren was puzzled. Rouge for a male dog? I propped my head up and retorted, what's wrong with Rouge? Rouge sounds nice and looks good. Just like the way someone's face looked when it blushed. Annie, why are you smiling so perversely? Dr. Song, do you want a beating? Song Ren chuckled softly, his chest muscles vibrating slightly. Okay, I'll come over and cook for you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Huh? Did I agree to that? He hung up so quickly? The next day, I was woken up by the doorbell. Rouge ran to the door, scratching at the panel and whimpering. Hearing my footsteps, it wagged its tail frantically, jumping around me like crazy. Rouge, I can't even walk with you doing that. I reluctantly picked it up and opened the door. Annie, I brought your favorite 3-ingredient buns and your favorite fresh squeezed juice. I made it myself. Eat it while it's hot. Song Ren was wearing a simple hoodie and jeans today. His hairstyle had also been carefully styled, giving off a youthful vibe. I stepped aside to let him in, yawning. You're here so early. Song Ren sighed. The sun's already up. He reached out and took Rouge from my arms. Rouge, let's go eat. After breakfast, we went downstairs to walk the dog together. Song Ren went to throw out the trash. I waited for him in the pavilion. Stanley Chow appeared with flowers, smiling when he saw me. As he approached, I sneezed. He never remembered that I was allergic to pollen. I quickly took 2 steps back. Stanley Chow stopped, his face as thick as a city wall, and said sincerely, Annie, thank you for doing so much for me. I was just deceived by Mia. That child is not mine at all. If it weren't for you, I would still be in the dark. I knew you still had feelings for me. Let's start over. My good mood for the day was ruined from that moment on. I was full of sarcasm. Stanley Chow, are you out of your mind? Or did that puzzle poison you and make you lose your mind? How many times do I have to tell you, we broke up a long time ago? Stop being so delusional. Baby, what's wrong? Song Ren walked over with Rouge in his arms. Then he pulled me into his arms, possessively. Mr. Chow, nice to see you again. Rouge wriggled from his arms into my arms. Stanley Chow covered his nose and backed away. He was allergic to furry animals. Annie, you're trying to make me jealous, hiring him to act. I took a deep breath and interrupted him directly. Song Ren, lean down. I put my thumb on Song Ren's lips and whispered in his ear, be a shield for me. After saying that, I kissed him directly. Song Ren's eyes were dazed. When he came to his senses, he smiled slightly, his Adam's apple bobbing. My heart beat faster as I pulled away. I looked at Stanley Chow's pale face. Starting over is impossible. I also like them younger. Stanley Chow was 4 years older than me. Song Ren was 30 this year, so he was younger than him. That made sense. Baby, let's go. I took Song Ren's hand, holding the puppy in my arms, not looking back at Stanley Chow's distraught figure. Dr. Song, thanks. Song Ren caressed his lips, slowly approaching me. His breath brushed against my face. I swallowed. Annie, that's not sincere enough. You have to take responsibility for me. Since that day, Song Ren started avoiding me, acting mysterious. Lily leaned over to me mischievously. Annie, huge news. I ? That bitch Mia and that scum Stanley were in a love-hate battle and ended up in the hospital, one crippled and one dead. The company has also declared bankruptcy. It's truly satisfying. Stanley Chow was splashed with sulfuric acid by Mia. His face and right hand were severely injured. In the altercation, he pushed Mia onto the road, and she was hit by a car and died on the spot. Stanley Chow was still unconscious in the hospital. His mother was raising money for him everywhere and had even come to me, but I refused. Ignoring him was the greatest kindness I could give Stanley Chow. Annie, that scum Stanley recently paid off all the outstanding debts from the past few years. I guess he has some conscience left. Conscience? That was impossible. It was just that I had obtained some evidence of tax evasion, and he had no choice but to comply. Yeah, conscience is selective. Lily, pack up. We're going on a business trip to the Tea Mountains. Okay, Annie. You're so great now. Lily and I returned from our business trip, just getting off the plane. Lily looked at the person in front of us and winked at me. Annie, I'll take care of these things. Go on your date. Song Ren smiled. I raised my eyebrows. Not avoiding me anymore? Song Ren's smile deepened. I wasn't avoiding you, just too busy. Song Ren took out a white rose crocheted from yarn from behind his back. How did you know I liked white roses? Song Ren raised his chin proudly. If I want to know, I can always find out. Annie, are you interested in letting me be your boyfriend? My heart skipped a beat. I looked at the beauty mark at the corner of Song Ren's eye, which was starting to redden. I grabbed his collar, stood on tiptoe, and kissed him. Of course. That hot hand held mine. I looked at his profile. 0823 was Song Chi. Song Ren lowered his head and hugged me, nodding slightly. Originally, he just wanted you to give up on Stanley Chow so he could seize the opportunity to steal the collaboration, but then he heard that I had fallen in love with a stubborn girl who wouldn't even cry out loud. My brother took it upon himself to tell you the truth. Annie, I wanted to tell you then that you are the best and don't be sad for someone who isn't worth it. Song Ren, thank you. Thank you for being by my side when I was sad. The end.